emotions. Oh, I'm proud and I'm honored that I'm able to share this side of the story and be able to give people an inside look as to why I stood by him through thick and thin. And I don't care what anybody says. They can go fly a kite. At his funeral, Doug told this story, how Rob loved his sandwiches.
I was working late one night, and Rob came in with a sub. And he said, I went into Mr. Sub, and Gus was there. And Gus worked 16 hours a day trying to make a living. And an order came in on the phone for Mr. Sub, and the total order was about $32. And Gus didn't have anyone to deliver it. I think you know where this story is going here.
Well, Rob's like, well, just give it to me. I'll go deliver it for you. See, imagine you ordered some subs and then knock. As the mayor of Toronto delivering your subs.
He said, you wouldn't believe it. I met, 4 new voters. So I have them as supporters now. And he said the best thing of it all, they gave me $35 and I got a $3 tip. But that's, but again, that's classic Rob.
What do you think Rob Ford's legacy is?
What is Rob Ford's legacy?
I've been thinking about that because I knew you were going to ask me that question. And I think Rob Ford's legacy, it all comes down to who you ask.
So, Mark, who was Rob Ford?
He was dishonest,
selfless, smart,
outspoken,
unpredictable,
exploitative. All of us have a Rob, somewhere in our life. And I think in the long run, history will think of him as a man who had an illness, who, despite that, accomplished some things that had never been accomplished before. And the bad stuff, it speaks for itself.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to Bowls 360. I'm your host Simon Alden and welcome to today's wrap-up of the Australian Open Day 12. One more day to go. Some exciting days today, some exciting games, had some champions to crown. Still have some Western Australians involved for today. So let's rock straight into it and see what today's news brought us. So firstly what I'll do is we'll cover the champions of the Australian Open. So they don't involve West Australians, but they are the main events of the day. So firstly we'll look at the men's pairs, and just a reminder, we had Jacob and Kane Nelson yesterday defeating Ray Pearce, Lee Schreiner 18-16, and Corey Wedlock and Gary Kelly beating Nick Carl Healy 17-13. So the final was today, and we have the winners, Corey Wedlock and Gary Kelly, 20-13 winners over brothers Jacob and Kane Nelson. So Corey Wedlock, Gary Kelly are our Australian Open men's pairs champions for this year. Congratulations to them. Also today we had the women's singles played, and just a reminder there, we had Olivia Cartwright from Moama defeating Jessie Cotell yesterday, and also Dawn Heyman from St John's Park, defeating Siti Ahmed from Malaysia. So that was our final today. That was also shown live on 7plus and KO, and it was Dawn Heyman who triumphed there, 21-11 over Olivia Cartwright. I did watch a bit of that game. Dawn Heyman was very, very solid. Olivia stuck around, but just a couple of bad ends cost her dearly. In the end, Dawn Heyman, pretty solid, pretty convincing winner, and a well-deserved one by her. I think she's won one before, not 100% sure. She's certainly won in, well, I'm pretty sure she's won in indoors. She's one of the better singles players going around in the ladies competition at the moment. So well done to Dawn, our singles female champion there, open singles champ. Right, on to some WA news. If you remember last night, no, that's not, yes, that is the women's fours. So if you recall last night, we had, while I was broadcasting the show last night, we had the women's fours semi-finals that were being played. They were involving Dawn Heyman again, Lara Butler's rink with Chloe Stewart winning. They were playing one semi-final, and we had Kelsey Cottrell was playing against Chrissy Van Nierop in the other semi-final. That was played late last night. The winners there were Chloe Stewart featuring Lara Butler winning 14-7 over Dawn Heyman, and the other game, unfortunately for us, Kelsey Cottrell and her rink defeating Christina Van Nierop 15-9. So the final was between Chloe Stewart and Kelsey Cottrell. That was on YouTube this morning. I also was able to tune in and watch that game, and it was pretty convincing winners by Kelsey Cottrell and Chloe Stewart, 23-14. A strange game, really. They fluctuated ends. One team was winning one way and one team was winning other way. The difference really was that Kelsey Cottrell was winning more shots when she was winning her ends rather than Chloe Stewart. They did bridge the gap to within 4. I think they got to within 3 or 4, but they dropped to 6, I think, which is huge in a game of fours, and unfortunately they weren't able to bridge that back gap. So well done to Kelsey Cottrell, Rebecca Van Ash, I don't know, A. Johns and Lindsay Clark and winning the women's fours this weekend. Were the men's fours on? I don't know. Let's have a look. The men's fours. So that final is between Ali Forsyth and his rink. We're playing Thor Shannon. That's right. When was that final? That was today, this afternoon. And it's Thor Shannon winning 15-10. I think it's Jake Rinn. I don't know, Wallace and Morrison. Defeating Ellie Forsyth, Aaron Wilson, Wayne Turley, Sean Ingham. They would have been heavy favourites in that game, but well done to Thor, winning the Australian Open men's event today, or this afternoon. So well done to that team. Right, let's turn our attention to the WA fours we've done. So it's the women's over 60s that was left. If you recall, where did we get up to? The round 3. So yes, we got to round 3. Yeah, so because Linda and Lisa were still playing in the women's fours, these games were delayed. So this was played this morning at 7 a.m. our time. Linda and Lisa winning their first game this morning, 17-15. We also had Jennifer Parker, Denise Kelly. They also won this morning, 20-13. The 4 of them, if you recall, were in the women's open fours together. So they're having a very, very good carnival, the 4 of them. We moved to the quarterfinals. Linda winning their game 17-13 over Karen Goldsworthy and Gail Crompton. And Jennifer Parker and Denise Kelly, unfortunately, going down 13-20 over Adele Pershouse and Tracy Foster. Bad luck to Jenny and Denise. We go to the semi-finals, which are played today lunchtime, and Lisa and Linda got up there 19-16 over Anne Doreen and Alan Ross. So that means Linda and Lisa are in the finals, and they will be playing Adele Pershouse and Tracy Foster tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Now, I don't know 100% for sure. I know that 7plus and KO/Foxtel will be featuring the men's singles and the women's pairs, and we'll have a look at who's playing at them in a minute. But I'm pretty sure the Bowls Australia YouTube channel might be featuring this game. So if you're up at 6:30 and want to tune in and cheer on Linda and Lisa, by all means do that on the Bowls Australia YouTube channel. Tune in for that. Alright, let's have a quick look at the men's singles and the women's pairs. They're the only other games that are left. I think there might be some boys and girls singles and the men's over 60s pairs, of course, but honestly, there are no Western Australians left in them, and I wouldn't have a clue who the bowlers are anyway, so we'll skip over them. Same with the vision impaired and the multi-disability. That's probably not politically correct, but this is a WA YouTube channel, so I'm really focusing heavily on the Western Australian players with the pairs and the singles as well, and the fours. So let's have a quick look at the singles. The semi-finals yesterday were Nathan Wilson defeating Corey Wedlock 21-11. Aaron Sheriff winning apparently played an absolute bomb with his last bowl to beat Cohen Mitfin 21-19. So that final, Aaron Sheriff playing Nathan Wilson, is tomorrow at 12 o'clock our time. Remember, you can watch that on 7+ or KO/Foxtel. And the women's pairs will also be on tomorrow. The semi-finals were Chloe Stewart, Selena Goddard winning 17-15 over Kylie Lavis, Cassandra Millerick. And the other game of the Malaysian duo that had that upset win over their compatriots. 21-8 winners there over Leanne Chinnery, Kelly McKerrigan. So the final between those two teams, that will be on at 9:30 a.m. Again, that will be on 7+ and KO/Foxtel if you want to tune in for the women's pairs. Alrighty, that brings us to an end of today's show. One show left. I'll do tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m. Not much to broadcast tomorrow, but so I might try and get a list of my highlight wins for the event featuring the WA players and some commentary around the Australian Open, and then we'll finish up for another year. So thank you all once again for tuning in. I'm loving everyone watching the videos and sending me some positive commentary about it. So thank you. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And until tomorrow night, we'll see you then. Bye for now.